Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. And today, special guest, one of my favorites, someone who's doing some amazing things in our community, not only Hartford, Connecticut, Greater Hartford, Connecticut, period. She was a 2019 100 Women of Color honoree. And for me, it was It was an amazing year. It was an amazing opportunity to celebrate her. Please welcome to the stream, Sister Anyango from the FLYY movement. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, June. It's a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to be here and an honor to be on this platform in the winner's circle. So I'm excited that I'm in this particular moment on this day in this circle. So thank you very much for having me.
Welcome to the Winner Circle. This is a pleasure and it's an honor. Uh, we get to see each other in passing at a lot of events. We never get time to really sit down and really bask in what it is that we're doing. But one thing we do know is that we're doing the work. We're on the ground, boots on the ground, hands and knees getting dirty,
Better believe
making
it.
sure
Yep.
that our community is inspired, motivated, and is moving forward as we push culture forward. We are celebrating what I think is going to be an amazing, amazing time. Uh, the anniversary of the FLYY Foundation. So, for those who are not familiar with the FLYY Foundation and the work that you're doing, just give us a brief description of what it is and when you started and what the inspiration was behind it.
The Fly Foundation is the charitable wing of the Fly movement. The Fly movement has been in the wings for 16 years. We're preparing to celebrate 17 years on October 19th, 2024. Such a huge number. And the energy underneath the 17th is out of the storms and into soaring because we feel like the first 15 years were grit. We entered into the 16th year of grace, which we celebrated last year. And now we feel like so many storms that all of us have experienced are now passing over. And our ability to navigate through those storms, we now are grounded into soaring, endless possibilities, limitless, really taking in this energy of Beyonce's track called Bigger, because there's no small energy about what we get an opportunity to ground in now. It's all bigger. And this is what we're celebrating. The Fly Foundation, its inception was last year because we needed a place to be able to have resources available for those individuals and organizations who want to avail themselves of Fly program and services but don't have access to full fees. We've done it for 16 years. And now we want to be able to establish, and we've done that, an entity where we can now gift aid and resources for those individuals and organizations who don't have access to full fees. So we're moving it out of a charitable organization into a full 501(c) by the end of the year. But in that it's designated as a charitable organization through the Department of Consumer Protection, we now can still take donations into that entity and be prepared to start gifting aid in 2025.
That's dope. So, FLYY stands for what?
Oh man. So FLY is an acronym which means freedom to love the you and you. It is always
Wow.
your opportunity to free up the energy in the body. Love and accept yourself for exactly who you are, not your next birthday, special occasion, celebration. The time is now. So, whether you've known me for 1 minute, as those who are seeing me for the first time on this interview, or you've known me for 16 years, you'll always hear me say, freedom to love the you and you. Who's Fly? And you got to tell me, I'm Fly. So, this has been the energy. This has been the mantra. This has been that call and response in our African tradition for 16 years, going on 17 years. So, I'll see folks in the grocery store, in the park, in events, in the street. Yo, Sister Anyango, I'm Fly. Indeed, you are. And that's how the energy got started. 16 coming on 17 years ago about Fly.
No, I love it. And you've been very rooted in African culture. You're also a very spiritual person. We're talking yoga, we're talking dance, we're talking about meditation. When you're talking about loving you and yourself, how important is it now more than ever, especially as we are now in an election year and we're talking about mental health, we're talking
Right.
about anxiety, we're talking about all these things that can trigger mental health. What is the importance of being able to ground ourselves? One, and two, how should we ground ourselves moving forward if we haven't already learned how to do so?
It's critically important. And it starts with being able to love ourselves, because if we love ourselves, then we're going to put in the time and the energy to take care of ourselves. It's not an easy process at all, and I think primarily because we're coming into this connection of giving ourselves permission to love and to care for ourselves in a way that we've never before. I think the energy around COVID, when we were closed in, emerging from COVID and dealing with exhaustion, dealing with burnout, dealing with struggle, and a lot of the mental health struggles, whether it's anxiety, depression, PTSD, came out full throttle. And it's out from underneath the covers now. All of our communities have to be mindful of, this is a thing. This happens to so many of us at one point or another. So it's no use in continuing to shame it. It's no use continuing to act like it doesn't exist. It's here. And so what? If we're struggling through anxiety, we get an opportunity to get help about that. If we're struggling through depression, we get an opportunity to get help about that and be loved and supported through that process and not shamed. And that's what happens in our circle every single Saturday morning. Folks come in thinking that it's going to be Zumba. Folks who've been in the cut know it's more than just Zumba. You're going to be loved. You're going to be supported. You're going to be in connection with community, regardless of what has happened to you before you walked in that door. So it's critically important that we find ourselves in spaces and places where we feel supported, where we feel in connection with community, because we cannot live this thing called life on our own by ourselves. That's not how we do this thing called life. Not at all. So every Saturday morning, it gets confirmed. When folks walk in that door, automatic. You feel loved, you feel welcomed. And as we continue going through Zumba in the after set, now you feel in connection. Now you feel in community. Now you feel in sisterhood and brotherhood. We need that. We need that to be able to navigate through every single storm we find ourselves engaged in. When we make a decision to get up, rise up, when we're blessed to have breath running through our body, when we know we got breath, we got life. So there's something about our life that gets to be continued because we're breathing, right?
Right.
We're breathing. We have life. So there's something more for us to do and to be. And just because we're struggling doesn't mean we don't get a chance to do that. Just because we're having a moment doesn't mean we can't be loved and supported. Absolutely not. We get to be loved and supported and in connection with community for every single moment we're on this planet, without
Now,
exception.
now you talk about shame. We have been programmed. Uh, we have been, there's a generational curse, I believe. How do we break that curse and that program that has been in our minds that, oh, sister, don't talk about your problems. You you gonna be all right. Stop complaining. There ain't nothing wrong with you. Don't go to nobody else and talk about what you're going through, and don't share this with such and such or tell such like what. There's this thing that we've done as families, right? When you talk about what this person needs help, or this person needs to go see somebody, or they need therapy, or we've been shamed, we've been shunned, we've been hushed. How can we break all of this, and or have we broken it?
I feel like the tide is turning. I
Okay.
feel like it's breaking. I feel like it's now becoming okay to seek support, to get that counselor, to get that coach, to get that therapist. It had to start somewhere. And I truly believe COVID allowed that to happen because there were too many of us dying. There were too many of us struggling. There were too many of us hurting. Now, while I don't necessarily align with generational curse, I do align with generational wounds.
Hmm.
We've sustained generational trauma. We've sustained generational wounds, wounds that are in need of healing. So, someone in our family system has to say, enough is enough. There are those of us who I consider to be the chosen ones. There are those of us who here who are specifically designed to break those cycles. I am one of them. And so Those generational wounds that came through trauma, I got an opportunity to look at, to determine what those were for me that are consistent in my family pattern, go through 11 years of psychotherapy to break them. Why? So that my children have the benefit of a healed and healing mother, giving them permission to do the same so my grandchildren won't have the same experience. Wounds healed, cycle broken. What does
So
it take? It takes more of us, and there are
right,
plenty. There are
right.
plenty of us who are in this space now who know what it is that we were sent here to do.
And I will say, especially for those who are watching or listening, words matter. So I want to take out the generational curse piece, and I want to say wounds. I like that. I'm here to learn as well, because sometimes, you know, we say the wrong things. We misrepresent. So I don't want to misrepresent for those who are watching or listening. I've learned something from Sister Anyango right now, that it is generational wounds, and those wounds, like you said, can heal. Should we do the work, recognizing them and getting the proper and most times professional help?
Right.
So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for allowing me to correct that. Um,
Absolutely. Because that's what and it's no fault, no shade. That's what we got handed down. We got handed down. It's a generational curse. And that's so heavy. That's wound in negativity. But if we say that's generational trauma, we've sustained generational wounds. Wounds we know can heal with the proper treatment.
mm,
Wounds can heal. And that's what we get an opportunity to do as a community. And I believe that's what we are doing because I see it every Saturday morning. I see it with the self healers I work with as an empowerment, freedom, and movement coach. I don't call folks that I work with clients. I call them self healers because I believe anyone I'm sharing space with has the opportunity to heal themselves. I just show you how. I give you possibilities based upon what comes through me, through my higher power to share with you. But ultimately, it is always your choice. You do the work. I just show you how.
let's talk about space.
Mhm.
And in the context of what you said, when you said you share space with people, when we talk about that, how
Mhm.
important is it to be mindful of protecting your space? Because there's so many forces out there. We know that the devil is hard at work. We know that there are some evil forces and spirits out there. What's the importance of making sure that you take care of your space and you protect your space and protect your spirit and all of what embodies your space in terms of how you live, how you work, how you travel, how you who you congregate with, who you are friends with, who you are associates with, and even worse, and I once again lack of a better words, family, friends, spouses. How important is that space to protect?
Critically important. Always being mindful of the energies of the people that we're around. And how do we get to know that? The way that I coach in 5 areas. One, I coach individuals on having a fly relationship standard. Why fly? Because, well, freedom to love the you and you. You want to be able to feel free in the relationships that you hold close to you. So, in developing a fly relationship standard, we look at several things, making sure what you want, what you need, and what you desire, you clearly define and you hold that and non negotiable. So I need to be in relationship with people where my needs are met. What I want, what I need, what I desire is met. And what's non negotiable is not flexed. So if I'm in a relationship and what I want, what I need, and what I desire is not being met, and you flexing too many of my non negotiables, we have what's called a collision.
Hmm.
Conversely, if all those are met, you're not flexing my non-negotiables. We have what's called an alignment. The relationships that align, we hold. The relationships that collide, now we got a choice to make. What I'm about to do with this relationship that's colliding, I got a choice. Am I going to hold it? If I hold it, I'm doing so at a risk.
Hmm.
Some relationships that collide, co-workers, business associates, although we have some choices about that, we may not have immediate control over, but we have control over how we interact with said collision relationships, right? In so doing, in terms of what you mentioned, parents, family, children, family, no one gets a pass for
Mm,
toxic behavior. No one gets a pass. So what we've done historically and traditionally, oh, well, that's so and so. That's auntie so and so. Well, that's just how they are. No, 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 no. No, 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 absolutely not. Why should we have to continue to contend with toxic behavior on the part of family members because someone said that's what we're supposed to do? That is not okay. Not anymore. No. If you're coming at me with negative behavior, if I don't feel safe around you, if something about your behavior starts to make me feel funky, I'm not going to be in connection with you because I got to protect my peace. I got to protect my heart. Number two, feelings. I get to have an all access pass to my feelings. I don't have to hide it. I don't have to act as if they don't exist. No, this is how I feel. I'm all in my feelings. I got all the feels. That's what we want. Why? That puts us in a heart space in connection with a higher power versus in our head space. We can justify all day long up here, but here in our heart never lies. Number
mm.
three, boundaries. That's the ultimate B word. Boundaries. We get to give ourselves permission, one, to have them, two, create them, three, to hold them, four, the power of no. Listen, how many times have you said, all right, I'll do it? Yes, when you really want to say no. No, I don't want to do that. No, that's not working for me. Something about your energy, as foul as interesting word placement could go there, and I'm not trying to be with you. No, but we say yes because that's what we're conditioned to believe. Mm-mm. No is a complete sentence and requires no further explanation. So it's getting accustomed to affirming the no and holding that without
Right.
feeling compelled to snatch it back. Oh man, you really gonna tell me no? Oh, it's like that. Oh, that's how we rolling now. Indeed, it is because I
Indeed, it
said no.
is.
Because I said no. Okay, this isn't working for me. Number five, the final one. We need to know fly energy of support. Again, fly relationship standard, fly energy of love and support. I need to feel free and comfortable around those who I see support me. Here's how we determine that. Phone calls, because we text, we DM, we email. How often do we place a call? So your fly energy of love and support is determined by who you can call. 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, somebody, and I'm a sleeper. I'm in the bed by 10, out by 10:30 because I'm up by 5:30 and out and moving by 6. So folks who know me and love me know I'm sleep. So if you're calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's an emergency and I'm getting up. And it's not, what's up? Hello, what's going on? That's how it is at 3 o'clock in the morning. Those are your ride or dies. Who can you call at 3 a.m.? And you have no doubt in your mind they're going to pick up the phone. Those are your ride or dies. 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, you can't call them at 3, but you can call them at 6. Those are folks in your tribe. 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Don't call them at 3. Don't call them at 6. But 9 o'clock in the morning, after they had coffee, tea, they straight. Now you can call them. Hey, yo, you good. Then you have those who hold support from you. 12 noon. They're not in the morning flow at all. But 12 noon, yeah, they're gonna holler at you, June. What's up? 12 o'clock, what's up? You calling me. Usually you text me or DM me. So if you're calling me, what's going on? Fly energy of love and support. It's not a big list. I tell folks when I facilitate this, it's 10 people and under.
Mm. I heard that. I
So,
heard that the other day.
right. And so when one, you have a standard of relationship. Two, you can be all up in your feelings, and that's a great thing. Three,
Mhm.
the B word, boundaries. Four, the power of no. And five, fly energy of love and support. That is how you protect your peace.
I love it. I love it. We're celebrating the Soaring 17th anniversary brunch, October 19th. You are very big with numbers. We talked at one of the events about the music fest about the number 4, and as we get into number 5 for you, what does this number 17 represent, and what can we expect with this amazing anniversary brunch?
17 aligns with soaring. And it's so special for us because of what we've all been through as a community. Um, this energy of fly, we decided when we hit that decade and a half mark that the shifting was beginning to happen. That was that 15 years of grit, right? 16 years landed us into this energy of sweetness. It's like from grit to that grace of sweetness, swimming in that sea of gratitude, right? So after 16 of last year, because it was actually October 7th of 2023, we celebrated on the actual day of the anniversary. All of us have gone through storms, navigating through them, getting through them, and being conscious about in the midst of the storms, we're manifesting more of who we are.
Mm.
We started this energy last winter of sitting in stillness and manifesting more. We went into spring, taking in new beginnings and manifesting more of who we are. We're just coming out of summer. Summer was about rising and radiating and shining with the power to envision and manifest so much more of who we are. And now that we're in autumn, autumn is about affirming this is a season to release anything and anyone that's standing in the way of our ability, right? To now have everything we want and manifest all of who we are. We now have the power to navigate through any storm and then soar as a result because of what happened the 16 years prior. And whether you've been, because I have folks who've been with me for the entire time, which is like a blessing to me, and those who have been in at any part of the 16 going on 17 years, but it doesn't matter whether it's been 5 minutes or 15 years. As soon as you claim I'm fly, or you in there. And
Mm.
so soaring 17, the energy that is capturing is the song I you and I were speaking about off camera, and that is The Storm Is Passing Over. It's a gospel song that I fell in love with as an undergraduate student at Colgate University. The gospel group on campus called the Sojourners would sing this song, opening all of my productions during my tenure there as the director of the cultural dance troupe. And I that's always been in my soul. It came back around to me recently. I'm like, so we're having a completely different kind of a celebration where we're now bringing full circle all of the African traditions, which means drum call, calling in the energy, permission of the elders, honoring our ancestors, and through movement and music, choir and dancers, that storm is passing over. Where it's going, well, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to give it all away, but yeah, so it's going to be full brunch on
Mhm.
October 19th at the Artist Collective. And returning to the Artist Collective is so special for so many of us because we grew up in the Artist Collective. And to return into that space, honoring the energies who are now in the spirit world, Brother Akko and Mama Cheryl, returning into this energy, reclaiming that legacy and contributing my part to it is very humbling and very special for me and many of the other dancers and drummers who are going to be joining me in the space. So it is full brunch. We have it. We have fly entrepreneurs. I never call them vendors. I call them entrepreneurs because that's what I believe that they are. So we'll have entrepreneurs in the space, an opportunity to take photos, videos. Our DJ will be there. Opportunity to connect and network. We have 4 honorees who, over time, have really committed and supported the Fly movement. It is a fundraiser because a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Fly Foundation, will allow us to then, as I shared in the beginning, offer resources to individuals and organizations who don't have access to full fees. We can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, how can people sponsor or make a donations? Where can they send it and where can they follow you?
So you can follow me on Facebook under Sistah Anyango or at the Fly Movement. Instagram, same thing, at the Fly Movement. But make sure it's Fly with 2 Y's because if it's 1 Y, you will not find me. It's Fly, FLYY, Freedom to Love the You and You. And that's where you can find me. Email, of course. The event is already on Eventbrite under Soaring 17, the Fly Movement. We would love anyone who would attend to purchase tickets on Eventbrite. On that link on Eventbrite, there's also ways to sponsor and to give a donation if you're not able to attend. So it will be exceedingly helpful for us, for those who are interested in supporting the Fly movement and everything that we're creating. We don't create events. We don't hold events. We create experiences to create change. So joining
Yes.
us on October 19th will be an experience that folks will never forget.
Well, on behalf of myself and my wife from the Archer Foundation, we will donate $100. So I'll make sure I'll take care of that
Thank
ASAP.
you.
And I encourage those who are watching and listening, get that information, look her up, follow her, make a donation. This is going to make an incredible difference, just so we can have other fly brothers and fly sisters following their dreams and making sure that they're curating spaces to be safe, to be heard, to be seen, to be entrepreneurs, to do all the things that we can't do to break the generational boundaries of hurt and wounds so we can heal them. And I'll just say this: what's next for the Fly movement? You talked about the 501c3 coming, talk about moving from a charitable organization to doing programs and giving money. What's next for the Fly movement?
Two things. One, our global impact, because we want global fly. We want the fly movement to go global. So I'm on deck to be a speaker at the Women in Business Summit in Brighton, England in May of 2025. Once that occurs, the fly movement will be global. Additionally, in 2025, we will be breaking ground on our building because we need to have our own home after 17 years of the fly movement, healing, and the art. So those are the two pieces that are on deck for us.
Listen, sister, I'm so happy to have this moment with you. And listen, our work doesn't stop here. We're doing the work, and I
I
continuously
do.
do my very best to do all I can for my community, for my people, especially our women of color. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to honor you and so many other amazing women in our community, from not just Greater Hartford, but the state of Connecticut, Western Mass, Rhode Island. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on here and giving us a little bit of your time. Once again, please support the Soaring 17th anniversary, October 19th, the Fly movement. You want to be there. That's Fly with two Y's, because I'm super duper fly. And
Sure.
she's a fly girl. And I'm your man, June Archer. That's Sistah Anyango. Thank you so much for tuning into the Winner Circle. And listen, like I like to end, please never leave the opportunity undone to tell somebody that you love them. It may be the last opportunity that you have to do so. Sistah
Amen.
Anyango, I love you. Keep doing
Love
what
you.
you're doing. And
Thank you.
listen, like it, love it, share it. This is the Winner Circle. My name is June Archer. Peace.
Peace.